And so the first step is to notice. And so the key with notice is not to take it personally. And this is that moment. So if you can just do the notice, that's the noticing is that moment, that pause. And when you can just have that pause, that's a chance for you to go from reactionary, being at the effect of what's happening, amplifying it, eating it, being in the ego, and becoming present with it so you're fully awake, so you now get to choose how you respond. So the first key is just to notice. And if you can practice noticing and just noticing you have that, remember that projector slide we had up earlier where we said the body has a built-in mechanism to let you know when things aren't going right? It's called stress. And we call it chi stagnation, Chinese medicine. Some people call it noise, friction, resistance. You know it. You're not feeling expansive. You're not feeling limitless. You're feeling contracted, tight, small, fearful, exact. You know the feeling. You know where you feel it, what that's like. So the first key is to notice. And then once we notice, because what's happening is we're seeing the world. I'm just going to pause for a moment here. What's happening is when you have a stimulus in your life, somebody cuts you off, something happens at work, something in the news, you see the world through the lenses of your subconscious. And what I mean by this is that you have these programs that you're running, these beliefs that you've inherited. You've got them since you were childhood. And through through your programs, your beliefs, you have these lenses on, tainted lenses, and that's how you perceive or see the world. And so when you're unconscious, when you're at the effect of a stimulus, you're in your wound, you are triggered and you're seeing the world through the lenses of your subconscious. So everything that's happening is actually neutral, but you are giving it meaning through your lenses of your subconscious. They say again now is in neuroscience is that you're only remembering about 50% of your memory is accurate, meaning there's so much information that's coming at you into the subconscious, but you can only really remember consciously 50% of it, and then you are filling in all the gaps. It's made up. And so you can have 5 children see the same event, and all 5 can have a different experience telling of the story of how it happened, what happened. They'd see it differently. So this is how powerful the subconscious is. So the key here is you're seeing the world not as it is, but as you are. You're seeing the world through the lenses of your subconscious. And so the notice, accept, choose again, the first key is to notice. Don't take it personally. Everything that happens is neutral, and then you are giving it meaning based on your programs. And if you can use these accepting what is tools that I like to use, if you can get into the present moment, then you are resourced. And I have the Superman pose here because when you are present, you are awake, you are conscious, you are resourced. When you are in the reactionary mode, when you're at the effect of it, when you eat the stimulus and you amplify the negative emotion, then you're in that reptilian part of your brain. You're in the high beta. You're in sympathetic. You are in fight or flight. You are in narrow focus. You don't have access to all these wonderful ideas and creativity. And so if you can use a tool to get in the present moment, then as Eckhart Tolle says, when you are present, you can either remove yourself from the situation, you can improve or change the situation, and if you can't remove yourself or improve or change it, then you can continue to accept what is, because you can be at peace in an unhappy situation, meaning you don't have to suffer. So you may not like the situation, you may not want the situation, but if you can get into a state where this is what's happening, so you're not fighting with reality, because when you fight with reality, when you argue with reality, that's what creates the chi stagnation, the friction, the stress. And so if you can accept what is, you can keep yourself from going into high beta and stay in that nice alpha amplitude with the beta, low beta and a high alpha amplitude. And now you get to access parts of your brain that is not available to you, solutions, when you're in the high beta, overwhelmed, sympathetic. So you can stay into that, get yourself into parasympathetic, get yourself into alpha, and now you're resourced. And now you get to choose how you feel. So these are some of the tools I use in my NAC approach, and I keep adding them. I use the breath. These, again, are tools and gimmicks to get you into the present moment. An event, a stimulus happens, and then that's neutral. You're going to give it meaning, but if I can just notice it, if I can take a moment to pause and then bring in one of these tools, then I can stay conscious, awake, resourced. I can stay whole brain, and then I get to choose how I want to feel. And that's really where your free will comes from, is you get to assert your free will and choose how you want to feel. So free will is the freedom to choose your feelings. And so nobody can really make you feel anything. Yes, there can be a trigger, so somebody can be the trigger, the stimulus, but your perception, your feelings are your business. You're doing that. And you can use present moment, notice, accept, choose again, to shift this. And so, again, Viktor Frankl says, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So the notice, accept, choose again, this belief change approach that I like to use, the key is to get you into present moment. And that's when you get to change your programs. And so you see the world through the lens of your subconscious. And so if you have a program that's not serving you, if you can change that program, your perception of the world can change. And Eckhart Tolle says, if you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. So it's about changing the inner experience, the being, human being versus the human doing. It's changing the inside versus trying to change the outside.